Every day, all over America, aircraft burn millions of gallons of jet fuel and aviation gasoline as they traverse the nation. The aviation fuel market is larger than most people think it is. This market encompasses the airline industry, military aviation, general aviation, and corporate aviation. The aviation industry is not the biggest polluter today, but it does produce about 2% of greenhouse gas emissions. If we are interested in limiting greenhouse gas emissions and other pollution, then we should use cleaner biofuels in our aircraft fuels, along with other modes of transportation that we use. Due to the fact that the aviation industry is growing and already is one of the main producers of greenhouse gas emissions, we must ask if the government should take action in terms of aviation fuel. Through research, I intend to support these arguments that government should mandate that 1/10 of every unit of aviation fuel, both jet fuel and aviation gasoline, should be replaced with a biofuel. This action would be similar to what the government has already done with auto gasoline in order to mitigate the amounts of greenhouse gas emissions. There are two main types of aviation fuel: jet fuel that is burned by turbine aircraft, and 100 low lead or avgas that is burned by piston powered aircraft. Major airlines today typically only use aircraft that burn jet fuel. Jet fuel is typically straw colored and similar to diesel fuel or kerosene. 100 low lead fuel or avgas is typically blue in color and is usually sold in lesser quantities at airports than jet fuel because it's burned by smaller aircraft. Biodiesel is actually quite similar to jet fuel. However, it does have a few differences. Firstly, it's actually a better lubricant than diesel fuel. Another difference is that biodiesel tends to gel at low temperatures. That is good because aircraft typically fly at high altitude where temperatures can get lower than -60 degrees Fahrenheit. Aviation biofuel is the only way for the aviation industry to mitigate its greenhouse gas emissions because of the fact that most other green energy weighs too much or does not produce enough energy. For example, solar panels have been used in aircraft successfully. However, the aircraft was only able to travel an average of 30 miles per hour. In order for a biofuel to be feasible for use in the aviation industry, it must meet a few criteria. Firstly, it has to be compatible with the current systems in use. The next criteria is that the biofuel must be far enough along in production that it's safe to use in aircraft. Finally, there must be a reliable production infrastructure in place so that this product can be mass produced for the aviation industry. Since 2008, many large airlines have begun to experiment with biofuels in their aircraft. For example, Virgin Atlantic flew a Boeing 747 in which a coconut-derived fuel was used in just one of its 4 engines. It may seem that we are ready for a revolution in the aircraft fuel industry. However, a lot of these fuels that are being developed by companies, biofuels, are actually not that far along in stages of production. In terms of aviation gasoline, much less is being done to add biofuel to the industry. Many of the categories of aircraft that currently burn avgas are being altered so that they burn diesel fuel or jet fuel. Therefore, the industry has not seen the need to develop alternatives for aviation gasoline. For this hypothesis to be completely supported by research, the industry would have to be more mature. Currently, based on my findings, it would not be wise for the government to mandate that 1/10 of every gallon of aviation fuel be biodiesel. Thus, parts of my hypothesis are supported by my research and others are not. Biodiesel should be used in aviation industry and mandated by the government, but just not right now.